As women, we're constantly being told there's something we need to change about ourselves. Lose a little more weight, get rid of your belly, fix your skin, do your hair this way, buy this makeup, wear this type of clothing, take this supplement. And we're constantly being sold the idea that the next thing we buy, change, or fix is finally going to make us feel better about ourselves. But what if the real shift isn't about changing yourself at all? What if it starts with believing that you're already worthy of being taken care of, or taking care of yourself, I should say, not necessarily being taken care of, which would be nice too. See, I've spent 20 years coaching women, helped over 10,000 women lose weight, feel great, regain their confidence. And I think this is one of the most important mindset shifts we can make, especially as we get older. And I know this because I've had to learn it myself. And just in case you don't know, now you know. It's your girl, Chelsea C., your fitness and nutrition coach, always doing the most so you don't have to. Thanks for rocking with me. Welcome back. If you have been with me for a little bit, if you're new, welcome. Come in. You're here for a great one. We got a good one today. So, story. I like to tell stories. This time about myself. So, for a long time, I think I was playing small. See, I was doing things, I was working, I was helping women, right? Live their best lives. But there was a part of me that didn't fully believe that I deserved the best. Like, I deserved good things. I don't know if I thought I deserved the top, best things. And I don't necessarily, didn't necessarily walk around consciously talking or thinking I'm not worthy, because I feel like I am one of the most positive people that you probably will ever meet. But it showed up in different ways, in decisions I made in relationships, what I settled for, with sometimes taking jobs or things of that nature, what I thought I could have, what I thought was realistic for me. And at some point, I had to make a decision that I deserve the best. And it's not because I'm better than anybody else, not because I've earned the right to have a good life, but because I'm just worthy of it. Um, and that's a big part of why I am traveling solo around the world right now. Yes, I'll make a video on that soon. Cat's out the bag. But, just learning that I am worthy. One of my good friends, um, you need that friend that will just tell you the real deal. And she's worked with me. She was in my boot camps for years. And she's just like, Chelsea, like, you have a good personality, you have a good heart, you know what you're doing, you're good at what you do. She was always just pushing me to do more, take on opportunities. And the other day, or maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, I don't know, all the days run together. She was just saying, it's time to put it all together and really just whatever's holding you back, let it go. And I appreciate her, and I did take that into account. See, as I'm thinking about, as I am currently my solo world tour, there was a time when I would have talked myself out of this. I would have found reasons why it wasn't practical, or why I shouldn't, or maybe someday, right? I have that video that someday I'll do it. But I realized I didn't want to keep playing small. And here's what I think most of women that I've worked with get caught up. The culture constantly creates a gap, right? You're not thin enough, buy this, right? It's a buy culture, right? Your skin isn't good enough, buy this. Your hair isn't right, change it. Your nails aren't done, get them done. You need the perfect outfit, go buy this. You need Spanx, right? You need that bundle, that number 48 bundle weave. Don't really know that much about those. I just heard someone say that, so thought I'd throw it in there. Buy it. You need that designer bag, right? That Birkin, Louis to Gucci. I don't know what people are into now, but you know what I mean. And so none of these things are inherently bad. Like, I like makeup. I don't wear a lot, but I dibble dabble. some facial things, right? I like to get my hair done. I like a good outfit. I like to smell good. I like to look good when I go out, right? And so there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when we start believing that once I get that thing, once I drop this weight, once I have this certain thing, then I'll feel good enough to maybe do some other things, right? And that's the trap. I always like to think about a lot of stars, celebrities, right? They're rich, supposedly. We don't really know how much money they're making, but from the outside, it looks like they're doing pretty well, right? They have the fame, they have the partner, husband, wife, whatever. Maybe they have three husbands, three wives. I don't know. They have the money, they have the house. But somehow they're either on drugs, OD, always in trouble, right? Not all of the celebrities. And so it kind of gives you that thing like, well, they have everything that society, right? We just went. They lost the weight. They have the Birkin. They have their nails done. They have a chef, right, cooking for them. So why aren't they happy? And that's something that we got to think about um, when we are thinking about these different things. So the conclusion I've come to, and please drop a comment if you agree or don't agree. The problem is if the problem is inside of you, you can't permanently solve it with something outside of you. Now, Liz, I said permanently, right? We can do it for a little bit, right? That retail therapy. If I won $1 million, $2 million in the lotto, I think I would feel good about myself inside, right? So I'm not saying that, but permanently solve. It's almost like I have that thing, feels good for that time, maybe a week or two, maybe longer. But then because there's something inside of me that's missing, I have to go back outside to find it, right? So it's like you lose weight, lose your goal weight, right? 20, 30 pounds, whatever it is. But then you're like, oh, my stomach has stretch marks, or I need to get like a tummy tuck down because now I lost all this weight, right? Then you get that, and then you say, but my arms, I need to fix my arms. But now my skin. And so you buy another product or whatever the latest thing is, and the goalpost keeps moving. Because the problem was never really the body, right? Never really your body. The problem was the belief that your body had to change before you're worthy of feeling. And I'd like to just always think about when I'm thinking about worthiness or even talking to a client, I'm like, when someone has a baby, whether you have the baby or your friend, family member, whatever, right? Has the baby and everybody's like, oh, bring the baby over. Or I want to come see the baby and they want to hold it. We all love the baby because it's the baby, right? It can't even do anything for us. It's pooping, it's peeing. You got to change the diapers, right? It can't even hold its head up if you just let it go. It can do nothing for itself. If you left it, it wouldn't survive. But we don't care about that, right? We just know that this is a beautiful infant that just came into the world, that the Creator saw fit to be here in this time space continuum. And that's you. You were that baby. You still are that baby. Now we're bigger and sprouted out seeds, but you're worthy just because of who you are. And I think when I realized that, I'm like, okay, so what does that look like, right? So, and now let me be clear, okay? Believing you're enough or worthy of all the good things does not mean you don't change anything. It actually means you probably do change things because you're like, I'm worthy of this thing. I've been settling for this, right? Now I know that I can get way much more, right? So I feel like you can still need and want to lose some weight and want to get stronger, improve your health, sleep better, you know, eat better, reduce the risk of diseases. Maybe you're on some medicines or something like that, improve your fitness. But the reason should change. It's not I need to do this because I'm unworthy and it's going to get me somewhere. It's the reverse. I'm worth taking care of, So I'm going to change the things that are no longer serving. See, because you deserve to feel good in your body and have energy and wear clothes that fit comfortably, move without feeling horrible, right? Terrible. Take care of your health, feel confident, eat foods and make it your medicine and enjoy life. I had a client the other week and she was just bawling her eyes out. We were just about to get started. And she just said, I don't feel like myself. And I've been out with her. She's very outgoing. Everybody knew her, even though she said she hadn't been out in months. She was like, I'm outgoing. I love going out. I like putting on clothes. I like to be the life of the party. She just, in her essence, that's who she is, in a beautiful spirit. But because she wasn't feeling comfortable in her clothes, it was the highest weight she had been. It was the heaviest she had been. Sorry. Um, because she felt fatigued and just felt like just go to work and go to sleep. She wasn't feeling like herself. That's why she said she had not gone out. So you're worthy of that, right? She was worthy of all those things. And so, like, if you want to lose 10 pounds, that's okay. But you don't want to be standing in front of the mirror thinking, once I lose that 10 pounds, then I get to feel good about myself. No, you get to feel good now. And I won't go into a tangent. I want to, but I'm going to try not to, about feeling good now. I'll do a video, right? Whatever you want to do, however you want to be, whether it's weight loss, get a new job, partner, friend, whatever you want in life, you have to act like that person and feel like that now. You can't wait to feel like that person because it just doesn't work. It's not congruent. And I'll do a video on that. Okay. You feel, because if you feel worthy now, you're more willing to do the things that willing to do the things that take care of you. Does that make sense? If I'm worthy, I'm not gonna, you know, go out and eat to the ends of the earth where my stomach is gonna burst and then I feel bad, right? Or I'm not gonna stay out late and not get enough sleep 5 days a week because now I'm understanding I'm worth this thing. Okay. So let me give you some practical frameworks of how we can kind of start. And that's kind of the tangent I wanted to get on, but maybe I'll do part two if you guys want on how to actually do this. So this is some frameworks, and then I can get deeper if you would like. Okay, so number one, a practical framework would be journaling daily, and this is something I do. Doesn't have to be 30-minute diary session. 5 minutes. I started with just freehanding, just 3 pages of whatever I was feeling. Maybe I wasn't feeling nothing. I don't feel nothing. Just 3 pages a day, or maybe set the timer for 5 minutes. And maybe you ask yourself, like, what do I need today? I like to journal in the morning. I used to do it in the evening. Said I wanted to start doing it in the evening, but right now the morning is what it is because that's what I do it. So do it when you want. So if this is morning, you say, what do I need today? If it's the evening, what did I need? You can switch it around. How am I feeling? What am I avoiding? What would taking care of myself look like today? And maybe just jot down some feelings that you're feeling, something that happened yesterday that was exciting or bad or sad or whatever. And occasionally you can say, where am I playing small? What are my dreams? And you could just have a dream book. I want to run through the lilies in the field in Sweden. I want to go on a safari in Africa, right? I want to plant some food, farmland in India. I don't know, right? Just whatever you want. This is your thing. Journal daily could be 1 minute, could be 5 minutes, could be 3 pages. Make it your own. Maybe you've done it before, maybe you haven't. Keep it simple. Okay. So, two, some people think this is cheesy, but it actually works, right? It's affirmations. Now, the point is to stand in the mirror and pretend something you don't believe, right? I'm the greatest of all time, even though I do look in the mirror and say that sometimes, right? It's practice. It's really a way of speaking. How are you speaking to yourself internally, right? So, like, are you telling yourself, I'm worthy of getting taken care of taking care of myself? Sorry. I don't need to earn rest. I'm allowed to want more for my life. It's okay that I messed up. You're going to be all right, girl. Dust yourself off. You know, I am enough right now and I'm still allowed to grow. It's almost like inner dialogue. They called it affirmations, which maybe I'll change the word now because it's become overused. But it's, what are you saying to yourself? Are you treating yourself like you would treat your best friend? We got to give ourselves grace. So sometimes just speaking things out loud, I'm okay. I'm okay right where I am. And I'm getting better every day. I'm enough. I'm going to do this thing. I'm about to get this job interview or whatever, right? I'm going to go change the world. I'm going to feel good today. I'm going to do the things I need to do so I can have a stronger body. Okay, so affirmations are positive self talk. Okay? And this one I feel like is missing a lot is feed your spirit. See, we're all spiritual beings. So feed your spirit. And we can argue with it. You can leave in a comment if you don't think you're a spiritual being, but you are. We're spirit beings. So you got to feed that. So for me, spirituality is important. For you, that might look like prayer, meditation, maybe church, maybe being in nature, maybe reading something that grounds you. Maybe it's gratitude, maybe it's quiet time. Whatever connects you to something bigger than the constant noise of everyday life. Okay? Feed that, because if we're just feeding the outside, that's all we're going to see and feel, right? But that spirit, we're part spirit too. So sometimes it's just being quiet. You like some good music, gospel uplifting music. Maybe you get around some good friends and read cool books about spirit. There's lots of ways that it can look, right? It's not just one way. But feed your spirit, get quiet, enjoy the moment with yourself. And this is not really number 4, but this is one that I just want to say that you have to slow down long enough to hear yourself. Because when everything is work, phone, kids, errands, notifications, social media, cooking, bills, appointments. I mean, work takes up most of most people's days, right? You don't have time to ask, am I actually okay? Are you okay? So put the phone down, take the walk, sit outside, drive without the podcast, have dinner without scrolling. Give yourself enough quiet time to hear what you actually need. And since I've been kind of on my solo trip, I've had lots of time because I don't have a car where I'm at. So I either take the bus, bought a $50 bike, so I ride my bike. Um, and I'm here solo right now, so I have a lot of downtime. And you think you want that downtime until you're sitting with yourself and you're just like, okay, what's next? You know, but it forces me to be quiet, forces me to really hear and see, you know, am I being anxious about things? Is this bothering me? Why is this even bothering me? Nothing's really even happening. So that being quiet, you don't have to go the extreme that I'm going to, but just getting quiet, finding that time is going to be really important. You got to slow down. And I'm going to take a deep breath in and slow down myself. Woo, because this topic is something that I know, even if you semi you listen to this and do one or two things, or if you have an aha moment and actually put it into practice, your life is going to change. So I want you to stop making your body the price of admission for a good life, because I'm health and fitness, right? We could talk about other parts, but we're just going to talk about that. So you don't have to lose the weight before you take that trip, before you buy that outfit, before taking that picture, before going dancing, dating, wearing that dress, enjoying your life. Don't put your life on hold until your body looks different. Take care of your body because you're going to need it for the life you're building. See, I had to realize that I was playing small. And when I finally decided that I deserved the best, not because I was perfect, but because I was worthy, it changed the decisions I was willing to make. That's part of why I'm traveling the world right now. I'm not waiting until everything is perfect. I'm not waiting until I become some different version of myself. I'm just living now. And I want that for you. So before you buy another thing to fix yourself, I want you to ask yourself one question. Do I actually believe I'm worthy of taking care of myself? Because that's where I want you to start. You are enough right now. You can say it with me. I'm enough right now. You're also allowed to want more. You can love yourself exactly where you are and still decide that you want to feel stronger, healthier, more energized, and more confident. It's not like one or the other. I feel like sometimes I used to think like you're either good or bad. You either want this thing or you don't. It's like you can be, what do they say, a mess, a work in progress, and beautiful at the same time. Okay? So you can love yourself, like I said, exactly where you are and still decide that you want more. That's not punishment. That's self-respect. So if this conversation resonated with you, please subscribe. We're going deeper here, not just into how to eat, how to work out, but how you actually create a life you feel good about. Share it with a friend that may need it. Trying to reach everybody, trying to do some new things here for my 40 plus professional women. It's time to live your best life. It's time to unlearn a lot of things and be patient with yourself. Okay, until the next time, take care. Chelsea C. Talk soon.